The photographer took lots of pretty pictures for hours, but when she was fixing the pictures on her computer, she noticed something strange. She showed it to the mom, who couldn't believe it. It was really unlikely, but it happened, and it made a big difference in her life. "I couldn't believe what I saw," said the surprised photographer later. Amelia, 32, has been taking photos since she was young, but had never seen anything like this before. A few days before the photo shoot, a mom asked her for professional pictures of her and her 4 daughters. Amelia agreed without thinking much about it. "I usually do a few photo shoots every week," she said. "I thought this one would be just like the others, but she was wrong." Taking the picture of Paisley and her 4 daughters changed both Paisley's and Amelia's lives. Paisley, the mom of the Quadruplets, always wanted a big family. She and her husband Nick tried for years to have kids, but it didn't happen. When Paisley found out she was pregnant, it was a huge surprise. But then they got even more surprising news. They were having 4 babies. Can you imagine hearing that out of nowhere? It would change your life in an instant. But what the photographer found out later in the story is even more surprising. Paisley was thrilled beyond words, but also terrified. Paisley and Nick wondered how on earth they would be able to care for 4 infants at once, but with the help of family, friends, and an army of doctors, they managed to make it through those first few difficult months. Now, almost 8 years later, Paisley couldn't imagine her life without her 4 beautiful daughters. They were her world, her sun, her moon, and her stars. The little girls were the love of her life, and she wanted to experience everything with them. And with a lot of new experiences also come a lot of pictures. Paisley wanted to document every part of her beautiful daughters' lives. She had books full of pictures. The closet in their spare bedroom was almost ready to burst from the sheer amount of pictures it contained. This addiction was also clearly seen on the walls of their living space, and there was hardly any space left for new family memorabilia. The wall was a creamy white, but you really had to search for that color under the vast collection of family pictures that hung on the wall. There was no space left for anything else because the wall was completely filled. Everywhere was filled except for one little spot near the back of the house. Paisley was determined to fill the empty space on her wall with a special picture. As her daughter's 8th birthday approached, she wanted to do something memorable. She decided on a family photo shoot to capture their love. Paisley spent days planning outfits, finding locations, and arranging with the photographer Amelia. Amelia was highly recommended and impressed Paisley with her friendly nature. Paisley felt like she was talking to family when she spoke with Amelia. Amelia had always loved photography since she was a child. Her passion grew as she learned more about it. She spent hours studying lighting, composition, and techniques to improve her skills. It was no surprise when photography became her job. One day, Paisley emailed Amelia, asking for a photo shoot with her quadruplets. Although Amelia usually did indoor portraits, Paisley wanted outdoor pictures, which excited Amelia. It was a fun challenge, and Paisley's kind demeanor made it even better. Amelia had always dreamed of doing a photo shoot with a big family, so she didn't want to miss this opportunity. Amelia started preparing for the photo shoot right away. She spent hours researching different poses that would work well for a family with 4 identical children. She also made sure to pack all of her equipment, which was a lot, you know. She gathered her camera, reflectors, and she even bought a brand new lens with ultra zoom just for this moment. Amelia really wanted to make sure that she was prepared for any situation. Then it was time for the shoot. Amelia packed up her professional equipment that day, stepped into her car, and headed to the location for the shoot. What she didn't know at the time, however, was that this shoot would lead to a very special discovery. When Amelia arrived, packed and ready at the location of the shoot, the mother and her 4 daughters were already waiting for her. The girls ran happily across the lawn while their mother sat quietly on a blanket, waiting for the shoot to begin. When she saw Amelia, she immediately stood up, and the two greeted each other warmly. Before Amelia was given a small tour, Paisley showed her around the house, pointing out different areas in the backyard that would be good for photos. But in the end, they chose a field just behind their property. The grass was a vibrant green, and the sunlight hit the spot just perfectly. "This is the perfect place," Amelia explained, and Paisley and her family agreed it would be perfect. Then the infamous photo shoot could begin. Amelia set up her equipment in the field and began taking some test shots to make sure that the lighting was just right. Paisley brought her daughters into the frame, and Amelia couldn't believe how adorable they were. They were all dressed in beautiful outfits and were giggling and smiling as Paisley placed them in the right position for Amelia's camera. Amelia took pictures of each girl by herself, and they turned out really nice. Then she took pictures of all of them together, and those looked great too. After that, she took some fun group photos before going home. Next, it was just Paisley and her daughters, which Paisley was happy about. Paisley stood in front of the camera, and Amelia felt tired but happy. She had taken lots of pictures and knew she got some great moments. She promised Paisley she'd send the pictures once she edited them. "They still need some fixing, but you'll get them soon," Amelia said, determined to finish quickly. Amelia started working on the photos on her laptop. They didn't need much fixing because they were already good. But when she looked at the pictures of Paisley, something caught her eye. When Amelia first saw Paisley, she felt like she knew her from somewhere. She couldn't figure out why. She zoomed in on Paisley's face, and then she saw it. "This can't be true," she said. In the picture, Paisley was smiling with her daughters. It looked normal, but something wasn't right. Amelia's zoom lens showed something small on Paisley's neck, and when she looked at Paisley's daughter, she saw it there too. It was a little heart-shaped birthmark that was very familiar to Amelia, a mark that she herself had carried all her life. Her father told her once that it was the mark of her family and that for some strange reason, a lot of people in his bloodline had that same mark. But why did this woman she had never seen before have this mark? Is this a coincidence, or was there more to this? She decided to visit her father, but what he told her turned her world upside down. Amelia's father had been in a nursing home for some time because he was frail and could no longer take care of himself. Amelia knew that she had asked the right questions because his answers could be a bit cryptic. Amelia drove to the nursing home, her mind racing with questions. She parked her car and walked through the doors, feeling nervous. She made her way down the hallway to her father's room, feeling like she was about to uncover a secret that had been hidden from her all her life. He was staring out of the window, but when he saw Amelia, his face lit up. "Hi, Dad, how are you feeling today?" she asked, taking a seat next to his bed. "Hi, honey, how nice of you to have come," he called out enthusiastically. But when he saw Amelia's serious face, he knew she hadn't come just for fun. Amelia showed her father the pictures of the woman and looked at her father sternly. "Who is this, Dad?" For a moment, her father seemed to be caught off guard. Her father took a deep breath, looking at the pictures intently. Here come the cryptic answers, Amelia thought, but what he was about to say would be the most straight-to-the-point thing he had said in years. He looked up from the pictures, and Amelia saw a sad look appear on her father's face. "I know this woman, Amelia, and before I tell you who this is, I want to say that I'm sorry for everything." Amelia didn't understand what he was sorry for, but the answer her father gave her explained it all. "That's your sister, Amelia." Amelia looked at him with squinted eyes. She didn't know if she believed her father's words. After all, his mind was a bit scrambled sometimes. She told him that she didn't believe him and even got a little bit angry because of her disbelief. But when she asked him what her name was, he gave the name of the woman who requested the photo shoot. "Her name is Paisley, and she really is your sister," he said. Amelia was stunned. How could her father have kept this from her all this time? Her father had indeed kept the existence of Paisley locked away her entire life. But now was the time to come clean and tell the whole story. He ordered the nervously pacing Amelia to sit down again and promised to explain everything to her. That's when he told her about something from a long time ago when Amelia's mom was pregnant with her. Back then, her parents weren't getting along well. Her dad turned to another lady for support, and they ended up having a relationship. He felt lost and unhappy in his marriage, so he made a mistake and got close to someone else. It didn't last long, but it caused a lot of problems. After they split up, he found out she was going to have his baby. He already wanted a big family, but not like this. He chose to stick with his original family, but now he had another daughter he couldn't ignore. He asked the lady to keep it secret from his wife, and she did. She only told him about his other daughter, Paisley, once in a while. When Amelia heard her dad's story, she wondered if he was telling the truth. To find out, she talked to Paisley again and asked her to do a DNA test. Paisley was confused but agreed. A few weeks later, the test showed they were half-sisters. Amelia felt happy to find her long-lost sister, but also mad that her dad kept it a secret. After thinking about it, Amelia decided to meet Paisley. They clicked instantly, like they'd known each other forever. They had a lot in common, like a love for photography and similar tastes in music and movies. They talked all the time and introduced their families. They became best friends quickly. This whole experience made Amelia think maybe things happened for a reason. If it wasn't for that photo shoot, she wouldn't have found her sister and her nieces. And Paisley finally felt whole after feeling incomplete for a long time. Now they were both happy and complete.